Hello, in this video, Jake, will introduce you to the basics of electricity concepts. In the slides, we will talk about what a circuit is, the fundamentals of a circuit, and Ohm's law. So what is a circuit? Circuit is a loop that starts on one side of a battery to other, connected with a wire. When two sides of a battery is connected, due to the difference in potential energy or the attraction between positive and negative charges, the electrons move from negative to positive. However, the direction of the current is opposite of the direction of the movement of the electrons. So, it is easier to think that the protons are moving. In a circuit, there normally is a resistor which lowers the voltage of the circuit and releases heat in return. This is the reason why electronic devices get hot when we use those. Now look at the diagram on the right. In the diagram, there is no current present initially because the switch is opened. In this situation, there is no potential difference present, so there is no movement of the electrons or the current. However, when the switch is closed, the potential difference between positive and negative signs moves the electrons to the positive sign and creates a current going from positive to negative, which is the opposite direction of the electron's movement. Next is about circuits fundamentals. There are a total of 5 concepts that are needed to understand the circuits. First is the electric charge. Electric charge is the property that causes the particles, protons and electrons, to experience a force of either attraction, caused when opposite charges are present, or repulsion, caused when same charges are present. This is what makes the current in a circuit. Next is the current, represented by a letter I. Current shows how much charges are passing through the wire in a certain amount of time. The equation that shows it is I equals Q over T, where I is current, Q is charge, and T is time. The unit for current is ampere. Voltage simply is the strength of the charges going through the wire, which depends on the potential difference. That is why if you plug 110-volt cord into a 220-volt without a transformer, it is dangerous because two strong charges will be going through. In a circuit, the voltage is created with potential difference between positive sign with high potential energy and negative sign with low potential energy. The unit for voltage is volts. Resistance is caused by the resistors in a circuit. It is in charge of reducing the voltage of a circuit, lowering the energy going through. In real life, resistors are used to convert strong volts into weaker one that is safer to use. The unit for resistance is ohms. Lastly, power is the energy dissipated by the resistors. It is shown with an equation P equals I squared R. However, using Ohm's law, which will be introduced later, the equation can be modified into P equals IV and P equals V squared over R. The unit for power is watts. Finally, it is about the Ohm's law. Ohm's law is a description of the relationships between voltage, current, and resistance, and the relationship is shown with the equation V equals IR, where V is change in voltage after going through the resistor and R is the total resistance of the resistors. Here are two examples. In the first example, since we know that the current is 12 ampere and resistor is 3 ohms, we can find out delta V by multiplying 12 and 3, which is 36, which will be equal to the voltage of the battery. The next example has two resistors. We have to find the current this time. To find the current, we have to divide R by both sides and input the numbers. One thing to note is that for R, since there are two resistors in a series, we have to add them together. Then, if we do that, by doing 50 divided by 10, we can get 5 ampere for the current. This is the end of the video about the basics of the electric concepts. Thank you for watching the video.